mattina mi son svegliato. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Una mattina mi son svegliato. Ho trovato il vaso.
Assalamualaikum and greetings to all of you who are watching this video, especially our respected lecturer, Professor Dr. Syukur. In this video, we from Group 3 will discuss and present about our findings regarding the situational leadership theory and try to elaborate how well this theory with the criteria of leadership. But before that, let me introduce the group member of the Group 3. Well, Group 3 consists of 5 members, starting from me, Muhammad Danial Hakim bin Muhammad Tarmizi, with the matrix number of 271689, followed by Aimuni Qadirah binti Amran and Siti Julia binti Muhammad Jafri. The fourth member is Wan Nur Farah binti Muhammad Fauzi and Nur Alissa Umairah. Ladies and gentlemen, according to Richard Nixon, the former president of United States, idealism without pragmatism is important, while pragmatism without idealism is meaningless. Thus, the key of an effective leadership is pragmatism, idealism. Pragmatism, if we look in the philosophy context, pragmatism is an approach which comprehends that in every context there is a different approach. In that sense, every context has its effective approach. Well, viewing this philosophy and these quotes, we believe that there is one leadership style which suits with this philosophical and leadership style. And in that sense, we choose situational leadership theory. Well, in this video, we will present a bit about our situational leadership theory and how it is suited with few criteria, including capability, transparency, trusted, awareness, and considerate. In that sense, we will explain the definition of situational leadership theory and how it is fitted in this criteria.
Thank you, Daniel. I will continue the presentation in the angle of capability. So basically, what is capability? In general, capability can be referred to as the ability to do or achieve something in the organization. According to leadership manager in Nigeria in year 2009, Edoyi Mayowa, leadership is the ability to evaluate and or forecast a long-term plan or policy and influence the followers toward the achievement or the said strategy. In simple terms, capability involves how a leader thinks and acts. Basically, there are 4 dimensions in this situational leadership. First of all, let us look at the first dimension of this theory, which is telling theory. Telling dimension. Capability is very important to be applied in a leader because in this dimension, the leader drives a very pivotal role where he must give a lot of instructions to his subordinates regarding a task that needs to be carried out, considering that this dimension emphasizes subordinates who have a lack and poor of readiness in doing tasks. It can be said that in this dimension, the leader is not very confident with his subordinates in doing tasks. Usually, a leader in this dimension does not take into account the views and feelings of his subordinates toward the decision or commands he makes. Thus, he holds a great authority or power where only he performs the task of identifying, analyzing, and giving instructions to his subordinates. Secondly is selling dimension. In this selling dimension, it demonstrates a high relationship in terms of problem solving, and the relationship with subordinates is close as an organization. A leader will explain more about his opinions to gain support from the followers. Here, the context of capability can be seen in terms of leader's ability to convince his subordinates to agree and support his opinion. However, the decision will still be made by the leader. It's just notification and decision making that is more open to get support from his subordinates. Thirdly is participating dimension. This participating dimension is seen with a leader's behavior that concentrates more attention on the quality of relationships and pays less attention to the completion of tasks. In this dimension, a leader often asks for reactions and views from his subordinates or followers before making any decisions. Fourthly is delegating dimension. This dimension shows a high level of trust from a leader towards his subordinates and gives the subordinates confidence to do their own work with little direction and little personal contact. In this dimension, the leader identifies the problem, formulates the guidelines, limitations, and conditions of action, and leaves it to the subordinates or followers to make decisions. However, as usual, even though authority has been distributed, responsibility and accountability for the decisions made still rest on the shoulders of the leaders. That is all from my part. I will pass the presentation to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I bid to Dr. Syukur. My name is Wan Nur Farah binti Muhammad Fauzi with matrix number 271973. So now I would like to continue about the other characteristic, which is transparency. So transparent leader walks the line between being honest and also oversharing information with their followers. They allow themselves to be vulnerable when the time is right, but they tend to do so in a calm and also collected manner. So this characteristic actually can develop the quality of management work progress and also build a really good relationship between the leader and also the followers. Next, greater employee advocacy is a benefit of transparent leadership. When a leader chooses to be open and also honest with their followers and also employees, it can help them to feel valued because the leader tend to ask and also use their feedback and also opinions. So a leader builds a foundation of trust and also loyalty that fosters a greater employee advocacy by demonstrating to employees that the organization values their contributions and also opinions. So actually this manner, the leader openly tells people what to do and also even try to interact and also guide the employees about things that they might be and also they appear to be unaware about. Next, in order to improve the employee performance, a leader should be directly reprimanded for the wrong done by the employees. This is because if a leader feels shy or afraid to rebuke his employees, therefore no progress or change will be made by them. Then the mistake will be continued to be made without them realizing about it. Other than that, transparent leadership helps to ensure that both employee and also employee expectations are appropriately set and met. With frequent, clear, and open communication, employees are less likely to make false assumptions about their jobs or leaders. A leader gives them chances to give any opinions and also views in working on a project, which is proof that there is no secret about important information between the leader and also the followers. So, in contrast, transparency denotes a deliberate and also conscious behavior in which one can choose how transparent they want to be. So it can be seen that pragmatism and also relativism are both being applied in this theory, as the pragmatists recognize that knowledge is a human activity that created by humans and it is always susceptible with correction, improvement and also expansion. Meanwhile, relativism always cares about the cultural or situational background of those beliefs. So that's all for my part. I will pass to another presenter. Thank you.
Leadership in trust means how the leader develops trust toward his or her followers or employees to do any job or task. Thus, in order to develop trust in a leader, the leader needs to have the capability to make a wise decision to fit in any situation that happens in an organization, such as problem solving or comparative opinion. So according to the situational theory, there are 4 stages of leadership, which are telling, selling, participating and delegating. Firstly, at the stage of telling, it can build a good relationship between leader and employees. It is a two-way relationship. The first one is when a leader expresses or tells his or her employee that he or she is believing them or trusting them. This will affect the employee to be more confident in handling any tasks that have been given towards them. Meanwhile, if an employee is also telling by being honest with the difficulties they face in order to do the job that needs to be done on time, then this will eventually develop trust within the leader. For example, when an employee is unable to do their job due to a lack of knowledge, the leader must invest much more time in them telling or offering precise instruction and continuing support. Second is selling, which its objective is to pique the interest of the follower so that they will progress to the next level. Selling is direct to the adherent who has acquired some level of expertise along with an increased devotion. However, the leader must now focus on developing a trust with the individual. The leader needs to spend more time listening and providing advice to the follower. Less emphasis is placed on telling and rather more emphasis is placed on selling, such as suggesting, which ultimately result in more encouragement, develops trust, and serve as a coach. It serves as acknowledgement that they have made progress, which in turn develops trust and inspire them to make even more development. Third is participating, which helps in having a positive surrounding in an organization. So participating is intended for the follower who is now competent at the work but is still inconsistent and has not fully committed themselves to the effort. The follower must participate with the leader and obtain their support. It is no longer necessary for the leader to provide detailed instruction or conduct frequent follow-up, but the leader must continue to participate and collaborate with the follower to ensure that the task is being accomplished to the required standard. Leader should now participate by focusing more on the relationship between themselves, their followers and the group, and less on the outsourced chores. This stage of participation places a strong emphasis on relationships and eventually will build trust within both relationships. The final step is delegation, which is the end goal of delegation is to have a follower who feels totally empowered and capable enough to take the ball and run with it with minimal supervision. Delegation is the ultimate goal, so this delegate stage is heavily influenced by the followers. However, the leader of the team must trust in themselves as well as be eager to delegate duties. People at this level of situational leadership are matured because their leader was able to adequately explain everything. They know how to act, what their function is, and what is expected of them. Due to this, the leader is able to distribute responsibility and develop trust to subordinates and appreciate their approach to completing assigned tasks and making judgments. Employees will be able to create trust in the organization more easily if they make the effort to implement the consideration behaviors, supporting behaviors, and style approach behaviors from the situational approach. In conclusion, this theory shows pragmatism and relativism when a leader recognizes an individual's distinct traits and uses different leadership approaches according to situations.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to Dr. Syukur and to all friends. Thank you, Alissa. My name is Siti Julia binti Muhammad Jeffrey, matrix number 271604. And now I'm going to present my part, which is the awareness criteria. Leadership goes beyond skill. It comes down to the level of awareness and flexibility exhibited by a leader in a given situation. It is more beneficial to develop one's self-awareness as well as an understanding of the various leadership styles. So the situational theory of leadership is one approach that might be used to raise awareness about potential growth areas for leaders. In order to assure the excellent performance of the team and to fulfill the objective of the situation, a leader needs to be able to recognize the qualities that each individual possesses and respond appropriately to the circumstances that occur. So, when a leader is able to recognize an individual's unique characteristics and employ different leadership styles based on situation, so this demonstrates that pragmatism is present in the situational leadership theory. So this is because leaders deal with a variety of situations by conforming to what is more practical and useful in the given situation. So according to the theory of situational leadership, there is no ideal leadership style or approach, and the leader must be adaptable and perspective enough to employ multiple styles with different people in different situations. So in point of fact, there are situations in which the same individual need to be approached in a different manner, and the appropriate situation for doing so will vary based on the circumstances. So this suggests that the leadership style of the leader and the degree of individual development are the two primary principles that control situational leadership. On the other hand, there are individuals who have the necessary expertise and resources to carry out a particular activity, but they lack the necessary level of dedication to do so. At the end, there will be a very small fraction of workers who exhibit exceptionally high level of commitment as well as competence. So situational leadership will help the leader find a good balance and match between the style of leadership that they should use and the people they work with. So in addition, the situational theory meets the criteria for awareness when it comes to this leadership. So therefore, the situational leadership theory enables more situations to investigate the concept of leadership in their careers, and they have a deeper understanding of both who they are and the context in which they are most likely to be effective leaders. That's all from me. Thank you. I will pass to the next presenter.
The next key of the leadership is considerate. Well, considerate is the extent how one can understand his needs and the other's needs. While for the leadership context, considerate is about how well the leader can understand his needs and his follower needs and try to compensate these two needs according to the objective of the organization. Well, why situational leadership is the best in considerate? It is because through situational leadership theory, the leader will consider the capacity and the social variable of their follower. In that sense, the leader will consider various elements such as the competency, the commitment, and the capability in determining the most efficient method of organizing and leading their subordinates. Besides that, through the situational leadership theory, it enables the leader to emphasize by considering the nature of the task. In that sense, the leader will comprehend precisely the extent of the difficulty and significance of the assignments to ensure that it is performed correctly and competently. Other than that, through considerates, the leader will consider the extent of maturity of their work group. In that sense, it allows the leader to propose the leader to evaluate each group member maturity, which is the ability and willingness to complete a task. In short, Through situational leadership theory, the leader will enable to consider their followers before choose a method in leading their subordinates. In that sense, it shows how situational leadership theory is really comprehend the considerate key of leadership. That's all from me. Thank you.
In conclusion, the leader, their followers, and the situation are the three components of situational leadership. Leaders, when employing situational leadership techniques to their duties, are tasked with providing directive and supportive dimensions from the leader, appropriate with where the subordinates are in their groups. So this is done in order to maximize the effectiveness of the leadership. The four leadership styles: high directive, low supportive; high directive, high supportive; high supportive, low directive; and low directive, low supportive, aligns with employee development phases from low to high. The degree of the employee's mastery of the task as well as their attitude toward the task will determine which stage of development they progress through next. So employees who are new to the organization or position are considered to be in the learning phase and require the leader to be highly directive and low supportive during this time. So in this instance, the situational leaders and directs communication toward the accomplishment of the set goals, but he or she engage in very few behavior that are supportive. This style approach allows leader to shift their attention from followers to results.